Let's move on to something very different but equally important, and that is that Basecamp Research, that's a British AI startup company, has completed a $60 million equity financing deal, plus a collaboration with a US Broad Institute, which could push forward programmable genetic medicines, and it claims transform treatments for a wide range of diseases. And it comes today, as we've heard from the government, announcing its 10-year health plan for the NHS, and many believe that it is AI which could transform healthcare in the years ahead. Let's speak to Glen Gowers. He's the Chief Executive and co-founder of Basecamp Research. Very good morning to you, Glen. Let's start with AI and the real possibilities it offers in terms of healthcare. I mean, we think about it when it comes to jobs and technology, but health could be key to some of AI's success in the future.
Absolutely. AI is one of the kind of core technologies that can understand very, very complex systems in a way that human intelligence cannot today. And in healthcare, our understanding of biology and biotechnology is getting to a complexity where it's beyond human comprehension. So we're going to have to rely on machines, algorithms, and new AI techniques to be able to design new therapeutics and new medicines. And at Basecamp Research, it all comes back down to the data that you can train these models on. And we built one of the single largest and most complex data sets of its kind from biodiversity.
And talking about biodiversity, now I've been reading into this morning, absolutely fascinating. You know, there's a lot of diversity in the world. Your company, if you like, kind of goes around the world, doesn't it, trying to figure out what different biodiverse systems, how they operate and how they could help humanity in the years to come. Is that right?
Absolutely. The best and biggest AI foundation models in biology today are trained off of data from the natural world. And today that represents vastly less than even 1% of the known biodiversity on this planet. So if we wanted to fix this problem, we said as a company, well, we have to fix this whole data supply and data infrastructure from the ground up. So we partnered with now over 25 countries around the world, 100 locations, and we're generating revenue from the products that we're working with the top pharma companies on with, and passing that revenue, a portion of that revenue, back to the biodiversity hotspots. So really pioneering this new economic model around new data from biodiversity, but there is fueling these new AI models.
But there is a recognition, Glen, isn't there, that maybe not your company, but others, and what might happen in the future about so-called biopiracy, where companies essentially are going in and potentially exploiting that situation.
Yes, absolutely. At COP16, which is happening as we speak at the moment, this is one of the hottest sort of topics of discussion here at the moment, is how is the future of data collection going to be governed so that all stakeholders in this data collection can benefit from any economic reward. So we are pioneering a solution to this. We're one of the first companies to be doing this new economic framework. And like I say, we're already passing portions of our revenue back to these biodiversity partners around the world.
And just finally, let's talk about here in the UK, the National Health Service. You know, one of the benefits some people might argue, and certainly what the government are doing today about our National Health Service, is that, you know, there's millions, tens of millions of people, a lot of data there. What do you think, or is the UK in a good position to exploit potentially this AI revolution with its healthcare system, given the access we have to tens of millions of people's health records?
Well, potentially, yes. But of course, all of this does come back down to the ethics and the traceability and the permissions that you have around this data. So while we work in the biodiversity sector for our data collection mostly, we really think all about, is it traceable? Can we kind of attribute the ownership of this data back to the places that it all came from, and make this traceability something that's inherent in the system rather than an afterthought. So of course, you know, I think with the NHS and various other different data collectors around the country, you know, that's really something that needs to be forefront of mind in how people use it as well.
Yeah, it's incredibly complex, but really, really fascinating, and clearly going to be a big part of the future. Glen, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Glen Gowers there from Basecamp Research.